for both of you. We've talked about gender violence. You've also talked about kindness. But let's talk about personal security, your personal security as politicians, your own safety. Marci, your cabinet colleague, Chrystia Freeland, the Deputy Prime Minister, was accosted a few months ago by a very big guy in Alberta. We had the Defense Minister on stage here who had to, was face to face with a protester who was kind of really invading her personal space. So the question is I think you've talked publicly about your concerns that threats were I think your words were the #1 fear for your family when you entered public life. So how do you stay safe in a hostile environment, whether online or in person, both of you?
First and foremost, a big thank you to the people that are protecting us today.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. For keeping us safe, always, thank you. Online, so that was the part. When I was doing the social, I talked quite freely. As a journalist, you can't do that. You're neutral. When I was on that show, I was anything but. And that's when it was, you've all heard the shut up and dribble, right, with LeBron James? I got the shut up and just read a teleprompter kind of thing. And people didn't often like they didn't say often, but sometimes didn't like what I was saying and how I was saying it. And that led to threats. And it led to death threats, and not just against me, but my family, my kids as well. And that's why the conversation about running was really important. And that's what they were concerned about. I will say this, because that was a very hard video to watch with Chrystia, who I love dearly. Black women, racialized women, nobody gets it like us, right? And we all do, but nobody does. It's a different, this is why there's misogynoir and all these things. Nobody does, and it's not always talked about. And I realized that when, I call them my sisters, the sisters on the social, my best friends, where we would all be saying the same thing, but nobody got the threats that I did. And it's hard to take, but as Charmaine said, you have to name these things. You got to name them. And so, police were involved. They kept us safe. They continue to keep us safe.
Charmaine?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I come from therapeutic world. And so I never experienced threats before, except for my kids saying I hate you and stuff like that.
My daughter's here today, so I'm gonna have to, no comment. I was the only one on council last term that had the police come to my office twice to take down statements and record voicemail. And having to do check-ins and have somebody walk me to my car. It hasn't been like that since becoming a minister, because I'm a minister of women's social and economic opportunities. It's a feel-good ministry. So I haven't done anything out there yet that is controversial per se, but Marci's right. Like the only one in council that got the attacks. And I grew up in a family, it was just like, Charmaine, them things are gonna happen. Keep going,
Keep it moving.
And we just keep, and that's how I am.
There's a tension between suck it up and face the threat.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But like I said, one thing I wasn't gonna do is tell people don't worry about it. I'm like, call the police, people need to know about it. Everybody in the city hall needs to know this is happening to one of their counselors. And, but you also know who reacts to it and who doesn't really react to it. And when they see one of their colleagues being treated that way, you know who's got your back and who doesn't.
You sure do.
And you're like, I see you.
And neither one of you let it stop you.
No. Of course not.
How quickly we said that.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing we said earlier. If we believed the bias and the racism and all the crap that comes our way, we wouldn't be here.
The only thing that's going to stop you is the clock, we're out of time.
Yeah.
So we're
went-
actually into overtime. So
did.
my apologies to your staff who are going to kill me. I shouldn't joke about that. But you are prisoners. We dropped your ministerial titles, but you're still prisoners of your ministerial schedules. So you're busy, and I want to thank you for making the time. And it took us a long time to organize this, but you were both on side from the beginning. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So I just want to thank the ministers for defending democracy and defending themselves so ably today. Thanks to the audience for coming out in a really tough weather day for Toronto. I mean, I'm from Montreal, so this is not really intimidating, but we really appreciate it. A very quick programming note, our next Democracy Forum is next month with your colleague, the Minister of Immigration and Refugees and Citizenship, Sean Fraser, which is a nice fit for TMU, Toronto Met, given its immigration and refugees and resettlement program. You can get the details online. A special thanks to the Faculty of Arts for sponsoring today's event and for so much work getting it done. Thank you. Merci. Megwich.